Good evening, everybody. It's Chad again. We're going to bring our topic tonight to the topic of love. I believe that love is very much misunderstood, and most people believe that love is a feeling that we have. And that's not what I believe. And everybody has their own right to believe, whatever they want. But I am not a believer in love at first sight. I just don't believe it. Lust at first sight, sure, I get that. So, lust is a visual thing. So, whenever you lust for somebody, you're attracted to them. You're attracted to them physically. You can be in lust with somebody without ever even getting to know that person. You cannot love somebody without getting to know them. Okay? And love goes much, much deeper than what lust does. So I want to talk, and there's my love right there. I want to talk about love itself. And to me, love is an action word. It is not a feeling. Okay? It is not something that, oh my gosh, and Morgan just popped in, that, oh my gosh, I saw Morgan the first time and I just fell in love with her. No. Even after, it's action. It's what I do. The Bible tells us that love is patient. Love is kind. Love endures all understanding. So every morning whenever you wake up, like it or not, you are making a conscious decision if you're going to love that person that's laying in the bed next to you, or the person that you were dating, or the person that you were engaged to, or whoever you were committed to. You are making a decision if you were going to love them that day or not. So why is everything so misunderstood? At least in my opinion, why is everything so misunderstood? We talked about in our last broadcast a little bit about we want everything and we want it now. We don't want to wait. We don't want to work for it. So I think that kind of bleeds into this as well. We don't have the same morals in our society as what we did back in the 50s and before. For the United States, we don't have the commitment from one person to another that we used to have. So everybody falls in lust, and it's easy to do. I don't want to sit here and downplay it because I've been there myself, and I never even realized it until I met my bestie, and my bestie's Morgan. And getting to know her, not being close to each other physically, literally 3,000 miles away, forced my hand into approaching this relationship 100% completely different than I have any other relationship. And it helped that whenever we started our relationship, it was a true friend relationship. And she was going through some life experiences that I had been going through, so we had some common ground that we started, talking together about. And we just connected as friends, and that friendship has brought us into an entirely new level that I've never been in. Number one, out of the two marriages that I have had, I was not friends with my spouse. They were my spouse. That was different than a friend. And that makes a big difference is what I'm finding out. And like I said, I mean, this is all new to me as well. I've always believed that love is an action word. It's something that you do, but I never understood the level of it until these last few months. And whenever I tell my fiance now that I love you, and I'm sure she gets sick of hearing it as much as I say it, it is at a totally different level than what I have ever used that word before outside of my children. My children are different. You know, I think with our children, we understand love more than what we do, what most people do with their spouse. You know, our children are always there. We would do anything for them, and you know, we would make sacrifices for them and everything else. So, but even with that, it's still a different love than what you have romantically. So you have to bear with me here. Morgan kind of threw me off when she came in. Our society is so built up on the here and now that we never make it past the lust phase. All right. And don't get me wrong, you know, lusting for somebody, and I know that the Bible, you know, specifically speaks against lusting. But, you know, just the law of attraction, I kind of throw that into the lust category versus love. And I'm not saying that you have to be sitting there to be lusting for someone, to be sitting there thinking sexual thoughts about them, in my personal opinion. So, but our society is so much on the here and now that we're stuck on that, and we don't want to wait. We don't want to work for anything. And, you know, love is so much different than the lust, and it is so much better than the lust. It takes your whole relationship, regardless if it's the physical relationship, if it is the mental relationship, the friendship level, if it is your spiritual relationship, it takes it to a whole new level that you just can't experience in that lust phase. And I'm guilty. You know, both of the people that I married very quickly. I didn't wait around. Y'all have heard the stories about my first two marriages, but I never developed that friendship. And, you know, now I've got, you know, a fiance that's 3,000 miles away that I'm looking at 4 years at a minimum to even be able to, you know, actually combine our households and become a family unit, just because that, you know, I've got a promise that I made to my kids that they would finish school here, that, you know, they would not have any more moms, you know, that I would focus on them. And then of course my fiance's got, you know, her kids and stuff up in Canada as well. If I was in a lust relationship with her, this would not work, because lust needs that physical attention. So, and it doesn't matter if it's, you know, holding hands or hugging and kissing or intimacy or whatever. For that lust portion to be able to survive, you need that. And seeing each other, you know, once a month or once every other month, it just isn't going to work. You've got to have that friendship. You've got to have that love. You know, the Bible tells us that love is patience. You know, trust me, our patience is getting tested, you know, being 3,000 miles away from each other. Love is kind. You know, love endures all understanding. And, you know, sometimes love is not necessarily a positive action. The other person's not going to necessarily receive it positively. You know, it's just like with our kids. You know, why do we discipline them? Because we love them, because we want to make them into a better person. And there's times that your spouse, you know, the one that you love, needs that same type of love expressed to them. And, you know, not necessarily, not saying in a disciplined type way, but, you know, I know there's times that I get caught in a rut and I just don't want to do anything. And I sit on my butt on the couch or in the recliner, and, you know, the yard gets a little bit high, or, you know, this task should really get done or whatever. And it takes that person that loves you to, you know, goose you and say, hey, we got to get this done. You know, and I'm not saying nagging or anything, but that's all an expression of loving each other. And so it's not always, you know, that positive thing. But, you know, some of the stuff that, you know, I've seen Morgan twice now. All right. She came to Oklahoma and spent 8 days here. And I have been to Canada once and spent 8 days there. Okay. So she came here in April, and I went there in May. Okay. Leading up, and what the hell, all my lights just shut off. Ain't that just fine and dandy? So let's get this fixed real quick if I can find my car key. Yes, I do my broadcast from the car. There we go. There we go. So leading up to this part of our relationship, we've known each other over a year. We have, and you're going to think I'm an idiot and that I'm stupid and what am I thinking? We have spent enough time on the phone talking to each other. Just normal conversation, sometimes even just in dead silence, no talking at all. But we have done that literally for enough time over the past, I don't know what it's been now, probably 13 months. Probably more than what most people do over a period of 3 or 4 years. And that time that we spent to be able to get to know each other, to be able to know about her past, and to be able to literally just know every detail about her is what brought us to that point, you know, of her coming here for 8 days and then me going up there for 8 days the next month and confidently being able to ask her to marry me. And, you know, loving someone doesn't mean that you bring home flowers every day. It doesn't mean that you buy her jewelry. Love is coming home after a long day of work, realizing that she has had a hard day as well. So you help her with the kids while she's cooking dinner, or you help her with dinner, or maybe you bust out the vacuum cleaner and help her on Saturday clean up the house. Or maybe that is doing some loads of laundry to make her life a little bit easier. See, those are actions. They're not feelings. They're actions. If love was a feeling, we'd all be screwed, because feelings are all over the frickin' place. And, you know, I can tell you, even and I know Morgan is the same way. We have had spots in our relationship where we hate each other, but we love each other. I don't want to love her that day, but I'm going to love her that day. I make that decision to do it. She pissed me off about this. Well, that doesn't mean that I don't love her, that I'm not going to show her that I love her. But if I totally went off of my feelings, then I would, right? So love is an action. One thing that I love doing, and it makes Morgan's day. The funny thing is it never really lasts more than a day. But whenever I was up there, her and a friend were sitting out on the deck talking and doing a live broadcast on Live Me. And if you don't know Live Me, download the app. It's a social media app, and search for Queen Esther. And there's a crown in front of her name, and there's a crown at the end of her name. And she's taking a break right now, but she broadcasts on that app, and you get to know her better. But anyway, while they were out there, I was in there doing some dishes, unloading the dishwasher, doing my love actions. And I just started writing her little sticky notes. And one might say, I love you. And I'd take it and put it in a cereal box. And the next one might say, I miss you. And I'd fold it up and put it inside the coffee maker. So the little Keurig machine. So when she opens it up, the note's right there. And I just stuck them all over the kitchen. And I put them in her bedroom. I know there's still some in there that she hasn't even found yet. I think. Maybe. Stuff them in clothes, in her wallet. So whenever she's out somewhere and she pulls out a credit card, she has that little personal note from me that says, I love you, or I'm thinking about you today. Those are the actions of love. So, and I say that it really normally doesn't last more than a day, because I did the same thing. I packed her bag up when she went back home when she was here in Oklahoma. And I put them in clothes and I put them around her bag and stuff. So whenever she got home, she started opening them up and she started finding them. Well, the problem is she's not very patient. So she starts going through everything because she wants to find them all on day one. God forbid that she find one a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, or maybe even a month from now, to get that little note that says, I'm thinking about you. That's what love is. Love is not just a feeling. Love is an action. And if you're not having that action that proves to your spouse or significant other, then what's it all for? Where is your relationship at? And you know what? I think sticky notes are probably the single most important thing to Morgan. I think that she loves those sticky notes more than anything else that I have done for her. And granted, I haven't done a lot for her yet. But those sticky notes, I really do. I think that is her favorite thing. And guess what, guys? It don't cost hardly anything. I mean, what's a sticky note cost? I don't know, what, 1/10 of a cent? And an ink pen? I have a whole box. I have a whole box of sticky notes in the cabinet up above my desk in the hallway. And when I went up to Canada, I grabbed a couple of sticky note pads and put them in my backpack, so that I had them whenever I got there and could do that. Another thing that you can do, whenever your significant other is in the shower, we all know, at least guys, we know that our significant others take really hot showers, right? I mean, like, if we were to get in there, it would scald us and it would leave blisters. That's how hot the showers are that these women take. So just take your finger and just write a note on the mirror. You know, I love you. Thinking of you. You know, that way whenever she gets out, it's right there. And guess what? If you have a big bathroom, you can use their eyeliner pencil and you can write on there. All right. I used to write myself notes on my mirror, you know, just eat an Oreo today, relax, tell your kids that you love them. You know, I used to do that on my mirror to give myself mental reminders. But we're at the 20-minute mark, so I need to wrap this up. And just to kind of recap everything, love is not a feeling. We don't just see somebody and fall in love with them. We fall in lust with them. All right? We have that physical attraction to them, which is important. Love is an action. Make sure that your significant other is getting that action. Because without the action, the love is not there. If you enjoyed this broadcast, I'd really hope that you would share it. I'm really trying to get the people who subscribe to me, get that number up. If you haven't yet subscribed to me, hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. This is only my third broadcast ever. I promise they'll get better. They'll get more organized once I get my thoughts a little bit better in order. I believe our next one that we start is going to be a series, which is going to be the Decay of Society, that we're going to be starting up. Probably this, I might start it this weekend. We'll see. But please share this to your social media app. Share it to any friends or family that you might think will enjoy it. Share it with your significant other, and hit that subscribe button. Everybody have a great night.